If you're someone that's upgraded from the SP404-SX or A to the Mark II, you may have this device lying around and you're wondering, what the hell am I going to do with this? Some of you may have sold it, others, you may be sitting on it and thinking, there must be a way I can use this device, even though the Mark II kind of does everything, but much, much better. So today I thought I'd share 4 things which I think you can use this for still, and I'm sure there's others as well, so leave it in the comments below if there's anything that you use it for that I've missed out in this video. So yeah, this is an interesting video. I haven't really had the SX out since the arrival of the Mark II. I think this is only the second time I've put it under the camera again since I got that, so that really goes to show how the Mark II has really moved the SP series forward. It's just absolutely crazy the amount of features that we get now, and we're still begging for more. We want more. But yeah, the SX, it's a lot more primitive, and I just can't look at this anymore as a beat making machine. I don't know how I used to carve out beats on this thing. I mean, I don't really think they were that great, but I did manage to put a few EPs together, and that was just solely on this device. So yeah, I feel like I was really punishing myself back in those days. But yeah, so moving on, the Mark II's obviously brought a lot to the game, but yeah, there are still a few really nice things you can use this for, so I'm going to go through those right now. Okay, kicking off with point number 1, this is obviously still a great device for the FX. The MFX we've got down the side here, 1 to 24, and then we've got the additional 5 around the top as well. All of those can still be used to your advantage, and imagine pairing this up with the Mark II. I was thinking about this just before recording this video. You could have this and up to 4 stacked effects on the Mark II as well. So you could have a total of 5 SP MFX stacked up on your beats. That's absolutely crazy, and that's guaranteed to get you some sort of unique character, as well as some lo-fi goodness as well. So yeah, point number 1, don't forget this has got some really nice sound and effects on it, and you definitely still can take advantage of those. Point number 2, and this kind of leads on from that one, is that not only is this an MFX unit for your beats, you can use this thing for absolutely anything you wanted. So if there's other areas of music that you're interested in, if you're interested in producing your own music, you can use this as an effects unit for anything. You could run a mic through it, you could run a synth through it, a guitar, a bass. You could run any instrument you want through this device and use it as an effects unit. So that is definitely another way which it can be utilized and still have its place. I'm probably repeating myself a bit here, but these devices are renowned for their MFX, so it's definitely worth holding on to it if you can afford to, in order to take advantage of all those. And like I mentioned, yeah, just don't think of it only as a unit that you can use for beat making. This can be used for any music production. So like I say, if you're interested in something like that, you can definitely use this and add some spice to your music. Okay, point number 3, and this is taking us back to the beat making game. This can be a really powerful tool for live performance and beat performance. Now, those two things to me are completely separate. Live performance is when you're playing to a crowd and you're playing beats and doing a show. Then you've got your beat performance when you're just performing a beat in order to take a recording of it. So this can be used really well for both those situations, for say triggering samples. I've got some samples here from my Lo-Fi Drums Volume 4 pack. And what you could do is just load up this entire unit with sound bites and noises and effects and all those kind of things. And then you can just use this as a box for triggering those while you're doing performances or live performances. So here's a few examples.
I woke up this morning, the depression just washed over me.
Tony Soprano, James Gandolfini, R.I.P., absolute legend.
You can't just lie and cheat and break the rules you don't like.
So you can fill your SX up with all those kind of things and take it to a live performance, plug that in the chain and just layer those over the top or use it in between tracks. And like I mentioned as well, if you're doing a beat performance, say you've got something loaded up on your SP404 Mark II or your MPC or anything, and you're taking a recording of that in order to put it on Spotify, on SoundCloud, you can use this in that series to just add those sounds over the top. You could load up every single bank, every single pad, and just have this as a kind of Foley / noise / vocal stab box that you can just fill with whatever you want. So I think that's a really good use for it, and that's something I'd definitely consider in the future. Okay, point number 4, this can still be used as a device if you pair it up with something else that's a bit more powerful. So for example, you could use it in conjunction with the SP404 Mark II, you could use it with an MPC, you could use it with Ableton. Use this to process samples, add effects, export those sounds onto a more powerful unit, and then process them in there. So there may be some effects on this device that you absolutely love. I think the compressor still sounds quite nice. I like the isolator as well. I think overall it does have quite a nice sound, and I think there's a bit more warmth to it than the Mark II. The Mark II has gone a bit more tinny sounding. You have to work it a bit harder to get that nice sound out of it. But I think the SX has got a nice kind of warm character to it. So yeah, you can take advantage of that, but then you don't have to make the beats on this device. And that's something that I've obviously talked about quite a lot on this channel over the past couple of weeks. So process all your samples in here and then record them out into a more powerful unit. And then you can do all the arrangement in there. And that's going to make your life a lot easier. It's really weird having this device back on the table, especially without any kind of stickers or skin. It looks so plain, and it just looks like it's something from a completely different universe. I really remember when the Mark II first turned up, when I had that in secret and Roland had sent it to me and I was learning how to use it. I kept getting the Mark II out and thinking, I really hate the way this thing looks, because it kind of moved away from that retro styling. But when I look back at the SX now, I think the Mark II has made this look so dated now, but I kind of like that. I kind of like the retro vibe of it. And what I've actually done is put the Mark II dials on the top of this as well. So all in all, I think this unit's looking pretty cool. And just a note as well, these pads are actually the fat pads from npcstuff.com, and those guys hooked me up with these pads ages ago when my pads were completely bust and I just couldn't afford to ship new ones over because it was so expensive to buy them and ship them to the UK. So I want to do another massive shout out to NPC Stuff for sending me these over way back in the day. That actually saved my channel for quite a long time, so appreciate it, guys. Thanks for that. So that's it for this one, guys. I just wanted to show you those 4 things that you can still use this SX4 if you're thinking it's completely redundant and you don't use it anymore. I'll still be keeping it in my collection for now. For me, it's just got way too much nostalgia, and it's the whole reason this channel's here in the first place, so I have to hold on to this device. It's got pure sentimental value. If you've got any uses of your own, like I mentioned, leave it in the comments below. Apart from that, guys, I will see you all in a new video very soon.